let's talk about the right answers and why they're right in these reading comprehension passages. For the first one, the primary purpose of the passage, if the answer is going to be D, you've got to be able to say, if that's the primary purpose, then what fundamental policy change? And that's when we can point back to line 33. It's increasingly necessary for land managers to strive to manage rather than eliminate. And then even more specifically, line 40, they should focus their efforts on fuel. And that's the way you know it's the primary purpose, because you can go back to the passage and say, yeah, the author said that we should do that. For number 2, what is a maintenance burn? And, it's kind of like car maintenance, right? I mean, it's something you do to keep things in shape. And notice that answer choice E is the only one here that's even close to representing what the passage was talking about. The whole passage is about setting some fires as a way of managing fuel. And that's what we need from the right answer, something that derives its support from what the passage was saying, and that's what answer choice E does. For number 3, it's the same deal, right? It's got to go along with what the passage was saying. Answer choice A, if homes were not built, why are we talking about homes? Nothing in this passage was about homes. It was about forest fires. B, until foresters recognize the dangers posed by excess fuel, there's no resistance. I mean, the top of the passage started out by saying that foresters in line 4 are increasingly aware that too much firefighting can be worse than none at all. What's this resistance? This is nonsense. B, I didn't love B. I gotta tell you, I wasn't in love with it. I mean, okay, yeah, I guess I can see that we'll still have fires, but it's not what I would have written to end the passage. It seems to end things on kind of a down note. But I can't say why it's wrong, so I'll just hold on to it. D, the ecological benefits must be weighed against their economic impact. Are you kidding me? That is from some other passage entirely. This guy is not weighing anything. I mean, she is forcefully saying, this is what we should do. That's nonsense. Get rid of D. And E, given the large financial resources, where did that come from? So while I'm not in love with C, I've got good, strong reasons for getting rid of all other 4, and then I don't worry too much about C. And yeah, I suppose it makes some sense. We've let it build up so long that there's probably enough underbrush that it won't be near term when we solve this problem. That makes sense. Number 4, why does the author cite topography, weather, and fuel? Well, it's the opening of the last paragraph. There are 3 factors: topography, weather, and fuel. Topography is fixed, weather is unpredictable, so we've got to focus on fuel. Why did she mention them? To say we've got to focus on fuel, to tell us why we've got to focus on fuel. A, the support for the contention that land managers must focus on fuel. Question 5, the most support for inferring that which of the following is true of ancient ponderosa forests. We talk about them in the top paragraph, line 11, low intensity fires in these ancient ponderosa forests maintained open forests, leaving the trees alive and clearing the understory of brush and young trees. So they were open, and then in sort of the last part of the middle part of the next paragraph, many forests, I'm in line 29, including ponderosa, have now been free of fire for 50 years or longer, leaving the buildup of brush. So what do we know about ancient forests? They were less build-uppy. They were clearer. Finally, question 6. Oh my gosh, come on with this question. It can be inferred the author would likely regard a policy in which all forest fires that were started by lightning were allowed to burn. All forest fires? That would be bad. What she said in line 52-ish is that we should allow fires set by lightning to burn when the weather is damp enough to reduce the risk of extensive damage. We don't let all the forest fires burn. We let them burn when it's relatively safe. So letting all of them burn, that would totally be extreme, or D. There's too much build-up-y-ness of brush in the forests. They're not clear enough. And that's this passage. I think you agree this one was pretty benign, right?